For this video, we're going to talk about intercepts for linear equations. Knowing how to find the intercepts of a linear equation can come in real handy, especially when you have to graph. So there's two ways that we can be given a problem in which we have to find intercepts. The first is if they give us a graph, and the second is if they give us just a linear equation itself. So I'm going to show you both ways. So in the first one, they were asking us to find the x and y intercept from a graph. Well, the x and y intercepts are where the line crosses, specifically the x-axis and the y-axis. So if we try to find the x-intercept first, we know the form of the x-intercept will be a, 0, where a is the number in which the line crosses the x-axis at. So in this example here, the line crosses here. See how this is -4? That means they're going by ones. So this is -2, 0. The y-intercept is going to be where the line crosses the y-axis. And for the y-intercept form, it's 0, b, where b is the number that the line crosses the y-axis at. So we know 0 is going to be first. And again, it's going by ones. So this is 3. That's it. We're done. Now, when we do the linear equation, there's actually two ways we can do this. The first way is we can substitute zeros in. See, we know that for the x-intercept, y will always be 0. And vice versa is true for the y-intercept. X will always be 0. So if we're trying to solve for, say, the x-intercept first, we're going to put 0 in for y. When I substitute that, here's what I get. This term is going to cancel out and we will get 0. So now we have 3x equal to 30. So we can divide by -3. X equals -10. Now this is not the correct form of my answer. I am not done. It's asking for an intercept. And remember, intercepts are points and as such should be written as an ordered pair. So again, the x-intercept is written as the number and then 0. So this would be -10, 0. Now for the y-intercept we do the same thing, except we're not going to put 0 in for y, we're going to put it in for x. So when I substitute 0 in for x right here, here is what I get this time. Notice this time the x term will cancel out, which makes sense because it's the y-intercept. X is 0. So I'm going to be left with 5y equal to 30. So I'm going to divide by 5, y equals 6. And again, I'm not done. This is not my final answer. This is an ordered pair because it is a point, so I have to write it that way. So the y-intercept this time would be 0, 6. Notice the 0 comes first because that's the form of the y-intercept. Okay, so we can solve this in a similar fashion, but without having to really do substitution. It's called the cover-up method. So let's work on the x-intercept first. Basically the way this method works is we cover up using our finger or our hand, however you want to do it, we cover up the term that's going to cancel out. So for the x-intercept, the term that's going to cancel out is the 2y. So if you literally take your thumb and cover up that term, you will see that what we're left with is 4x equal to 16. So that's all I'm going to write. Now I would divide by 4. X equals 4. But again, we know this is not the correct form. We're going to write it as 4, 0. Now let's do the same for the y-intercept. This time, instead of covering up the y term, we're going to cover up the x term because that's what's going to be canceling out. So you can see our equation is 2y equal to 16. So 2y equals 16. Divide by 2. Y equals 8. So our answer is 0, 8. Notice when we cover this up, the terms that's going to cancel out, we have a single step equation that we can do in our head. So there's two ways we can do this. We can substitute 0 in or we can use this cover up method, whichever works for you.